Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about symbolic constants. So we've talked about making variables in the past. There, I just made a variable with 10. So what is a symbolic constant? So I'm going to make a symbolic constant, num equals to 5. I just created a symbolic constant. So what's the difference between a symbolic constant and a variable? So there's two big differences. One of them is that when you run assembly, you can change a variable at runtime, but you can't change a symbolic constant at runtime. So for example, if I do move var 15, that is totally acceptable. I just changed the value of var to 15, right? And you see that I will not get any errors when I do that. All right, cool. Everything's jolly. Now, as soon as I change this back to num, I'm going to get an error because num is a symbolic constant, and I can't change a symbolic constant. Now, what I can do, though, if I wanted to, I could reassign a symbolic constant like that, and I wouldn't get an error that way. But I can't actually change it at runtime. So another thing, too, another big difference between symbolic constants and variables are that variables are stored in memory, whereas symbolic constants are not stored. So if I were to put a breakpoint and debug this, I could find my variable in memory, but I can't do the same with my symbolic constant. So if I wanted to find my variable in memory, just put the ampersand and var. There. Here it is. That's 10 in hexadecimal. See if it works the same with num. And there's nothing there. And there you go. Those are the two main differences between symbolic constants and variables. Cool, and you can store different things in symbolic constants. So I can store a positive integer or a negative integer. I could store text if I wanted to. But one thing you can't store in a symbolic constant are floating point numbers. So if I try to store that, then I'll actually get an error. And by the way, so you don't have to always define your symbolic constants in data. You can also create a symbolic constant here. And that's totally cool too. Alright, so now that we know a little bit about symbolic constants, how about we make a little program with them? Alright, so let's say I create a few symbolic constants for the days of the week. So Monday is day 1, Tuesday, day 2. Just make this a little bit faster. Okay. Alright, and let's say I make an array. I'm going to make this an array called week. It'll be a dword array for no particular reason. Put Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'll make another one week 2. Maybe this time I'll make it a word array. Monday, Tuesday. Now I'll make another one. Week 3, I'll make this one a byte array this time. Good. Alright, let's say that I wanted to put the length of this array inside a symbolic constant. How could I do that? So what I can do is I can come here, I'll make a symbolic constant called array size equal to, it's going to look a little bit funny, but I'm going to put the $sign minus week. What that $sign stands for is basically the offset of the array. And we got to divide this by 4 because a dword is 4 bytes. Now, if I put this in the EX register, and then I debug this, you'll see that it will be 7. So take a look here. Yep, so we know that works. So by the way, this has to be underneath here on line 28. This cannot be here because we're adding 2 more arrays, so the offset is going to be off. Now, if you want to go ahead and do that for the next array, you can do offset size 2, but then you got to change this to 2 because a word is 2 bytes. By the way, another kind of another little thing you can do too is instead of putting 2, you can divide it by word, and that is essentially going to work too because returns basically the number of bytes a word has. So okay, array size 3, and I could put 1 in here, or I can divide it by byte, or technically I don't even have to divide it by anything, right? And that should work too. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and delete all this stuff here. Okay, and now let's say I want to put the first few elements inside a register. I want to put maybe Monday inside the EX register, and then Tuesday inside of the EBX register, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to do move EX week. And this might look a little bit funny, but week is essentially an address pointing to the first element of the array. So this is actually going to put Monday, or I should say 1, inside EAX. Now if I want to put the second element, let's say I want to put it in EBX, then I can do week, and since each section in memory is a D word, which is 4 bytes, to get the next one, I need to add 4 to it, right? So I'm going to continue doing this. Okay. So I would have to, so if this is plus 4, then the next one should be plus 8, right? And the next one should be plus 12. Cool, and so that should work. So let me go ahead and put a breakpoint right there and run this. All right, let's take a look at EAX. So 1, 2 for EBX, and 3 for ECX, and 4 for EDX. Awesome, perfect. All right, let's go ahead and do that for week 2. So I'm going to save some time and just copy and paste this. Change this to week 2, change this to week 2, change this to week 2, week 2. But remember, this is a word, and our data type has to match our register. So I got to do AX, BX, CX, and DX, right? Okay, and instead of adding by 4, since it's 2 bytes, I got to add by 2. 2, 4, and 6. Let's go ahead and make sure this works. Yep. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So nothing's really changing here. You can't really see anything changing because it's already 1, 2, 3, 4 from what we did last time. But the good thing is that it didn't change to some other complete random number. But it's working. All right, cool. And lastly, let's do it for the byte array. Ooh, let me get out of debug mode. Okay. So since this is a byte, well then this has to be AL, BL, CL, DL, 3, 3, 3, 3, and increase by 1. All right, cool. So I think that should do it. So if we don't see any changes, then we should be good to go. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So those numbers should not change. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, cool guys. So that's basically how you do it. So hopefully you guys learned something new today. We talked about symbolic constants, a little bit about arrays, and getting access to some elements of the array. So anyways, till next time, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you.